Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Giovanni Rodriguez from Wick Editor forums, and today, this tutorial, we will be creating a math game within Wick Editor. So we have balloons with math problems, and the user has to come up with solutions. And if the solutions are correct, then we can explode the balloons and get points. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can help me do more of these videos. Thank you. Under the description below, I have put the link to the Google Drive where this template resides. After you download it, just click open. Open the mathtutorial.wick file, and then you have it. Click on the math tutorial and then rename it to math balloons. 30 frames per second is okay, and then 500 by 700 pixels is okay as well. Click apply, and then as you notice, let me click here to see the outliner. So we have two layers, UI and balloons. Then under the asset library we have the Anton font, we have balloon with object and spikes with object. Click under UI and add the spikes, add to canvas, and then click on it and just put 0 in X and 0 in Y. Then go to the balloons layer and click on the frame and click on balloon, add to canvas, and here we have it. Now click on UI, click on the frame, and let's add a new text, and let's put game over. Game over. Let's change its color to white, and the font, let's select Anton and resize the font just like this, and then let's name this as maybe game over txt. Let's add another text, this time just write score, and then just put it somewhere here, change its color to black, and then change the font to Anton, and then we have it here. Let's duplicate this one, copy and paste, and then in here we can change this for the score. Let's just put 0, and then we can name this one score text, and the other one score label. Then we can change both of them the opacity, so we can match maybe a brown from the background. And now we have to add another text for the numbers. Let's put there like 09 or 190, and then put it somewhere here. Let's use Anton as well, and for this one we can name it maybe num text for number. Now let's click on the balloon to see what is inside of it. The first frame is very important because we have a stop script there, but also, as you notice in the first frame, we have two things. One text, which is EQ for equation or math problem, and the other is body, which is a clip. So body basically has inside two balloons. The first one is violet and the second one is green. So the violet, we will be using this one for the multiplications problems and this one for the additions problem. Then after the first frame of balloon, we will be exploding the balloon. So we have an animation here like exploding into colors, and then in the last frame we just disappeared. If we inspect this frame, we should have a script saying this dot remove, and then the balloon will disappear. Now let's add code to this application. Let's start with the UI layer, click on the first frame, and then let's add a script. Click here, add script. Let's go to timeline and then default. Also, let's do the same thing here by clicking this plus tab here and then timeline and select update. Now we have default and update. Let's switch to the default tab and let's add some code. First, we need a timer for the balloon, so let's start by typing time equals to 0, then max time equals to 3 plus the project frame name, frame rate. Then the num text, we need to by default put it empty, so let's do that. Num text, the set text, and then inside we can put empty quotes. That will do that trick. And then we need a list of numbers so we can see if the user is pressing those buttons. So let's do a number list, and then let's initialize that list to Then we need a variable for the scoring system. Let's just create score, and then we need to reset the score to the score text from the UI. So putting 0 from the score. So let's do that. Score text dot set text, and then score. So let's define a global variable for the current math problem. So let's current problem should be sufficient. Let's start by an empty problem. We don't have any mathematical problems yet. Then we have to receive the game over text to be hidden. So set text to empty quotes as well. And then game over equal to false. I think that we can test this out, at least to see the game over disappearing and the number to be empty. Let's do that. Yep, that part is working already. Let's go back to the code. Let's go now to add update script. And we start as always saying if not game over, then we are playing. Now let's make sure that the user is pressing buttons from 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5 to 9 and then 0. So we have to track that somehow. So let's do a for loop for let num of number list, which is the list that we define in the default script, this one. Now we go to the input and then use if is key just pressed. So let's add an if statement and then click there, and instead of putting a, let's put num. So we want to put only 3 numbers as maximum. So we have to check if the length of the text is less than 3. So let's add that part. So if num text dot text content, then length is less than 3. Then we add the number into the text box. So text, set text, and then num text, text context, content, sorry, plus num. I think that we can test this. Let's try that. Let's put 1, 2, 3. And then if we follow pressing buttons, nothing happened. That's what we wanted. Let's try again with others. 9, 5, 7. And then we can not add any more. Okay. Now we have to add code to maybe reset the entire thing to empty. Let's do that. Let's go to the update code, and then after this for loop we can say if again is key just pressed. Let's add backspace. Whenever the user press the backspace, we want to delete the entire thing. So this num text set text, let's set it out to empty string. Let's test this out. 4, 5, 6. We can not write anymore, but if we press backspace, then everything is empty again. So that is working. Let's go back to the code, update code. Now we have to add code to spawn the balloons. So let's do that. Let's use the timer for that. If time plus plus is greater or equal than max time, then we reset the time to 0, so we can keep using that. And in here we have to define also the problem, the math problem. So let's start with the operator. But in order to do that, let's define a list of operators. Do like operator list. And we can start with plus, then multiplication, and we can add maybe subtraction here, and then maybe division. But in order to keep it simple, I will be only using additions and multiplications for this tutorial, but you can go crazy and add the others. Anyway, we have the operator list. So now we can define the problem. So let's just let operator for our math problems equal to random. Let's use random choice since we have a list choice, and then we pass the list, but this time we have a list already called operator list, so we can use that one. And now we define the two numbers of the math problem. Let's do number 1 equals to random dot integer from 0 to 9, and then we can do the same thing with the number 2. Copy, paste, and rename it to number 2. Now the entire string for the current problem, which is the variable that we initialize here to empty. So current problem will be filled here, which is number 1. Copy. do a space and then operator, then another space and number 2 at the end. So that will be our math program. Our math program will be a random number from 0 to 9, then a math operator from addition to multiplication, it will be random, and then another number from 0 to 9. That would be our random math program. And then we have to define a balloon. We have to spawn a balloon. So let's do that. Ball equals to balloon dot clone. And then we want the balloon to start at random F's. So we will be using another random function from 30 to 470. And then for the y-axis, we use 800 should be sufficient to start at the bottom of the stage. Then we have to decrease the max time, so every time, so we can have a more difficult game. So I would say if it's greater than maybe 20, then max time should be decreased. So it starts in, I think is 90, because the frame rate is set to 30 by 3 is 90. So, and then it will decrease 89, 88 every single time here until it reach 20. We don't want, you know, more balloons than that, so you will see how this eventually get crazy in the screen. So we have this. Now we need to set up code for our balloon. Let's do that. Click on the balloon and add script. Let's add timeline default and also timeline update. For the default, we have to verify if this balloon is the original or is a clone. So for that, if this is clone, we want to verify what is the operator that the main here. So we want to know what is the operator of the current problem, so we can have a green balloon or violet balloon. We will be using violet for multiplication. So a default, the first frame of the balloon, let's go there, is violet. So the first frame is violet of the balloon body, and then the second frame is green for addition problems. So let's go and do that. Since we have the current problem as a global variable, we can inspect that one. If current problem, which is the map problem, includes, and then you can pass the plus sign. If the math problem includes plus sign, then we have to change the body of the balloon to the second frame, which is the green one. This dot body dot go to and stop to. Okay. Then if we remember, also the balloon have a text. I think it's called EQ, like equation, EQU. So we could set that one. Let's do that. So we say this dot equ dot set text to current problem. And then we can set up an answer here. And what we are using is, this is the answer of the math problem. So the balloon knows what is the answer for itself. So let's just use eval. Eval is a function that will run evaluate code at runtime. Sometimes it's harmful, but this time around we are controlling it. So basically we need to evaluate the math problem, so the computer will do that for us and it will return the answer. So basically if this is 2 plus 2, it will save here forward. Okay, we will be using this one to compare against whatever the user enters into the num text. Then let's add code for the update. Again, we need to verify if this is the original or not. If this is a clone, then we want to run this code. Again, we need to verify that we are not in game over. So not game over. And then if we are playing, we want the balloons to go up. In order to do that, let's do this the y-axis minus equal to 0.5. So this is a constant speed, but we can go crazy and increase the speed also to increase the difficulty of the game. But for this example, we will be using this constant here. And then we want to verify if the balloon hits the spikes. But since we know that the spikes are static for now, we can use like a constant as well. So let's do that. If this dot y is less than 190, which is the location of the spikes on the y-axis, then we hit the game over. We set the game over, and also we write into the game over text the word game over. Let's do it. Over text dot set text to game over. Also, if the game is in game over, we want to explode every single balloon. In order to do that, if you remember, let's go back to the balloon. So in order to explode the balloon, we have to send the balloon to frame 2 and play it. So the animation will play, and then at frame 12 it will be removed, right? So we just have to send the balloon to frame 2. So let's do that. Let's go here, and then if it's game over, we need to verify also if we are in the frame 1. So if this the current frame number is 1, then we send this balloon and go to and play 2. So now what is missing is to use maybe the button enter of the keyboard to send, the answer to the balloons and evaluate if the answer is correct, so we can explode the balloon and also get points for it. So let's do that. Maybe here, line 10. If the user pressed the go input, is key just pressed, enter. Let's store the user answer. User answer with whatever it is in the num text. So it's num text dot text content. Then we want to verify if the user answer is empty or not. So let's do that. If user answer not equal to empty, then we want to process the answer. Let's define a flag for if we found that the answer explode a balloon with a mathematical problem, then we set up a flag for valid, okay? Or maybe correct. Let's define correct. Correct. And maybe initialize that to false. And then we have to iterate from all the balloon clones. So let's do that for let val of balloon clones. Oh, here is off. Then also we want to know if the balloon is still in the first frame, so we can investigate that balloon. Then, since every single balloon has their own answer, we have to verify if the user answer is the same as the balloon answer. So let's add an if statement. If user answer is equal that balloon.ans, then we explode the balloon. Ball.goto and play 2. And then in this case we set the correct flag to true. We have a winner, and then we zoom or increase our score by 100 points. But if the user answer is still not correct, we have that flag for that. Let's put not correct. Then we subtract 25 points from the score. Minus equal 25. And then at the end we set up the new score. Score text dot set text to score. Let's try this game out. Okay, I think it's working. We have our first balloon, which is a multiplication problem, and it's also violet. And then we have our second balloon. This is happening randomly with a green color, which means addition or sum. So we have violets for multiplication, and we have green for sum. And as you can see, we have random numbers from 0 to 9 for num1 and num2. And they are going up until one of them reach the spikes, and then every single one, since it's game over, will explode, and the game over flag will show up. Now let's try to test if I put some right answers based on the balloons math problems. Okay, let me zoom in, then let's just put 27, and there is the typo here. It should be score text. Okay, let's try again. So we have 6 plus 6, let's put 12 there, and I got my first 100 points. Let's put a random number, maybe this is wrong. It should reset the score, I mean the user number every single time. Let's fix that. Let's add to the update script whenever we enter something, and let's see, if the user answer is not empty, then let's set up this to empty, which is the num text. Let's do that. Set text empty. So we want to, every time that the user press enter, we want to reset this to empty. Let's try this. 2, enter, it's working. Let's press a random number, maybe 7. I got 25 points less because I missed a number here to solve a math problem. Let's hit 6 and then 2, 4, 3, maybe 45, 36. I'm not that quick in math, so I don't, but I think this is working fine. 15, 0, 5, 63, 54, 72, 40, 42, 6, 0. This is working great. And then I'll wait until this one reach again the top. And we got the game over. I hope this tutorial helps a lot with a lot of concepts here. There's a lot to swallow on this one, but again, hopefully you can get something from this one and learn some more games. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.